my rival school, and he was a senior, and he dropped like our basketball team. I don't think is our basketball team was pretty good, and I'm pretty sure he dropped like 48. He might have gotten a 50 burger. He dropped 40 something at least. It was crazy. It was the only college or high school basketball game I've ever been to. Because it was like the like freshman mixer or whatever the hell that it's called.
Like all-star game?
No, it's like just like the freshman something. I can't.
Like homecoming dance?
No, and it's not mixer. It's like.
And that's what we called ours that weren't homecoming, like the private schools. Oh yeah, you went to privates. Yeah,
well, homecoming. Yeah, homecoming was different.
It's when the old girl and the old boy schools mix, and they have a mixer.
Oh well, no, I'm a normal co-ed school, so our homecoming was like when alumni would be honored.
Cheap school, the best private schools are old boys, old girls.
I actually can't disagree. I think going to an all-guys school probably does a lot for young men.
Makes them gay. I'm just kidding. No, that's like
it
the
might make
thing
them
ever.
gay.
No, dude, I think I know less gay people from private school than from public school. But then someone's gonna be like, that's because the stigma in private school. I was like, nah, like honestly, in like private girls' schools, there's like actually like a decent amount of lesbians, but like private guys' schools, nah.
Probably just makes you hungrier. When I think of it, I think of like touchy priests and stuff. A little too close.
A lot of the ones out here are Catholic, but that's just going to be great in this New York Knicks club. But and they're right now 15-13. They just beat the Chicago Bulls. Tom Thibodeau beat his former team. They're honestly not a bad offensive team. 13th in the NBA, 11th in defense. They've been on a run right now. What do you think's been the best thing about this run? What is it right now? 5-game win streak they're on, and
it might even be 6, dude.
No, it's 5. But in their last 8 games,
right.
they're 6. They've won 6 of their last 8 games. Okay, and that's after taking Derrick Rose, Cam Reddish, and Evan Fournier out the lineup. They gave them the boot. They got Miles McBride dogging people. Okay, and I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think of the Knicks, the New York Knicks?
I really like the Knicks. I'm still convinced they're a nice piece away from being guaranteed top 6. I think they're right there. I still think they're probably 6th. I mean, what I like about them is they're beating teams that they like kind of should be beating, or that's nice wins like Atlanta, Cleveland, Sacramento, Chicago. I mean, I still have my issues with Thibodeau. Like in regulation last night, I don't know if you saw the final play that was drawn up. It wasn't even a play. It was, so I get it. Like Julius Randle had the ball. They had the ball. They were trying to cut off all the clock, but Randle had the ball at like top of the key. I think he got a pick, and then he took like the worst baseline fading away shot at the buzzer I've ever seen. But Julius Randle's
blame that on Thibodeau or on the player?
I blame it fully on Thibodeau because it was not a play, and there was no play drawn up, and it was just abysmal, and it was a horrible shot. But I think Randle's been a really nice. Randle's back to his kind of most improved shenanigans this year. He's a very underrated passer as well, and Jalen Brunson's kind of got that secret sauce to me. I'm still on board of RJ.
I don't think he's an underrated passer. Not to cut off your train of thought.
Julius Randle, underrated passer.
It's not underrated.
Is he properly rated?
No. Everyone recognizes Julius Randle's a good passer, but they overlook that because of his defense and his inefficiency. Huh?
So underrated.
Okay, yeah, I guess
it's overlooked. So
yeah, I get it.
I think RJ Barrett. Well, so I'm still looking for that one piece for this team because I don't know if RJ is quite yet. I don't know if he'll be a number 1 guy. Randle's not a number 1 guy to me. Brunson's not a number 1 guy to me. So they have all these nice complementary pieces, and I'm kind of waiting for them to make a splash. Who doesn't want to play in Madison Square? But I like it. I'm very curious to see what they decide to do with guys like, I think IQ might get shipped out. We'll see. But, Cam Reddish.
Well, they might have to ship IQ to get rid of Fournier's contract.
Yeah, so they're going to be active, I would imagine. And I'm pretty excited to see what happens because I think basketball is better when the Knicks are succeeding.
Well, this team right now, they come out of the gates guns a-blazing, but it's really at the end of the games, I don't know what's happening, their scoring-wise. Is it Julius Randle's running out of gas, or is everyone focusing on Jalen Brunson? But like, if you look at their first half numbers compared to their second half numbers, this team is great in the first half, and then they like fall off in the second. So it's just about weathering the storm and being able to maintain what they're doing in the first half and start to close out games better, and that's going to lead to them becoming a better, more consistent team. And I think when you look at this is a fun squad. Like it's still a bit messy, let's be honest, in terms of you got your three-headed monster in a sense with Randall Brunson and RJ Barrett. Those guys are going to combine for 60 points a night. Whatever hierarchy they score that in was whatever. Obi Toppin's out, but he was doing well. And then you got Mitch Robb, who keeps the paint protected. That's helping out a lot. And Isaiah Hartenstein's a good guy who comes in and he just does everything efficiently. But the thing with me, and then you got Quinn Grimes, he's starting to get better. Like, he's a slow start to the year due to the injury. But and then you got Deuce McBride. I really think they got to make a move. I think it's funny that they traded away Al Burks, and then I think, damn, Al Burks would be perfect for this team right now. I would love for them to go out there and try to get someone like, I'm not saying like an offensive guy, but I want like a guy who can kind of not only be like a spark plug off the bench, but also play defense, If I were them, that's what I'd be looking for. Like, I don't even know who you're trading for. Like, I don't think Pat Bev and Kendrick Nunn do anything. Like, if you trade Evan Fournier and Cam Reddish or Emmanuel Quickley for Kendrick Nunn and Pat Bev, what is that doing? I feel like, yeah, you improve potentially defensively, but offensively, it's just this team, I think they're, like you said, a piece away from really scaring people. They're right now, I think, firmly cemented in that like 6th seed. That's just because it falls off right after, like, scoring wise, after the 3 guys, which isn't bad because like defensively, like they allow 113 points and they score 114, but it's still making games a bit too close for comfort.
Yeah, it's a huge drastic drop off. I'm curious if they're going to use, I mean, obviously Fournier and Rose are probably gone. I'm thinking that they're going to use, like,
who are you getting though? Who's on the market?
I don't know. I think some of their younger pieces should be traded away though.
Terrence Ross and Gary Harris.
Yeah.
Dude, the Athletic had I don't know, in one of their shows they were laughing. So Zach Harper and I think shut the fuck up. I know you like the Athletic, but
I hate the Athletic.
Really?
Yeah, they're dorks. All of them are dorks, and they refuse to talk. They require $10,000 when somebody brings up the Lakers. Dork.
Right. So
basketball reporter.
They were laughing that they were like at one of the games and they bumped into another journalist friend, and one of them goes, "I can't believe Terrence Ross is still in the Orlando Magic," because they were talking about John Collins being in trade rumors for like 3 years, 4 years now. And then the guy looks back and he's like, "No, I can't believe Eric Gordon's still in the Rockets. Everybody got out except him." Like, like they were just talking about guys. I was like, dude, yeah, Terrence Ross and Eric Gordon, those guys have been in trade rumors. Or like Eric Gordon literally praised. They were talking about this, Gordon praising. And that's another, oh my God, they're talking about Eric Gordon to the Knicks. That's another thing. I love that. Why don't we just talk about this? Is great. You can keep this in the clip because my whole brain just fucking worked this into this episode. Was that the fact that I read Jake Fisher of Yahoo Sports, also his reporting's been doing better since he left Bleacher Report to Yahoo Sports. Still take it with a grain of salt, but you got yourself a guy right here at Gordon, $19 million. Ooh, if I'm the Rockets, I'm cool with Cam Reddish and Evan Fournier for Eric Gordon at this point. Maybe ask for a few second-round picks or a heavily protected first if you really require a first-round pick. Maybe because New York has so many of them, they have like 8 through the next 4 drafts. Maybe they dish you one that's heavily protected. But all in all, I think you go out here, you get yourself Eric Gordon for Evan Fournier and Cam Reddish. I think the Rockets would be more interested in Cam Reddish, even though he's an expiring contract, due to the fact that they have way too many guards. Like, I would love Emmanuel Quickley getting the opportunity. I just don't want – I feel like the Rockets would ruin Emmanuel Quickley because they just don't play their guards behind Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green. You're a Rockets fan, so you're going to agree with me. Like, I just – send him to Cam Reddish because Cam Reddish would actually get playing time.
No, he won't.
Yeah, maybe not, but like I'm fine with Cam Reddish's career dying in the Rockets than Emmanuel Quickly's. I know Emmanuel Quickly can be good.
No, if I'm taking Evan Fournier's dog shit contract because he offers my team nothing, I'm thinking
You're gonna stretch and wave him if you took on.
what I would require is I would throw in Jayshawn Tate because I think Tate would be perfect for the Knicks.
Would the money work though?
He's on 8. Well, so
Gordon's making 18, right?
Yeah,
or 19.
20.
Let me fact check that.
I'm gonna require. I don't think I'd get Quickly, but I would require a young cat, like maybe Miles McBride.
Do you think Eric Gordon moved the needle for this team? Do you think that's a guy off the bench or starting lineup? Eric Gordon is the guy that helps this team move from being firmly planted as the sixth team, as a team that's a little bit inconsistent, to, you know, what do you think?
I think it definitely helps. Nice veteran presence off the bench, giving you, at least double digits. I have my issues with EG on the Rockets, but I think it's just more so the Rockets and the way he just kills momentum, but he can also get momentum going. I like it. I do. I'm really on board with this Jayshawn Tate trade possible. Or you know what? Even if the Tate money doesn't work, how about KJ Martin Jr. and give me somebody else back?
KJ Martin's not a bad deal, but it's just the money. All right, so right here, if we look at it, Eric Gordon's the highest paid player on the Rock. Actually, they're still paying John Wall, but the highest paid at 19.5. I believe Evan Fournier makes 17. So let's look at how this works out.
Give me Rose then. So I'll buy out Rose or put him on the bench to make the money work.
I'm pulling up New York. Give me a second. So New York right here. Well, I think they'd rather have Derrick Rose's over Fournier's because Fournier is longer, but Fournier is making 18, so it's 1.4 short. And Cam Reddish is making 5.9. So right there, that's $23.9 million you're taking on if you're the Rockets. And you got, who'd you say, Jayshawn Tate?
Tate or KJ?
Jayshawn's making 7 plus. Eric is 26. So you would have to add a third guy there if you were New York.
Yeah, but so I want Grimes or...
what about if I do this? Eric Gordon, KJ Martin for Cam Reddish, and Evan Fournier. 2 first-round picks, 1 unprotected, 1 modern in the league.
Giving me 2 first-round picks. Yeah, I think I'd be foolish.
I feel like they have to give you 1 first-round pick for taking on Fournier's contract. That's like the heavily protected pick is here. You're taking on 3 extra, like besides this season, I think it's like in total 3 years of a Fournier contract. So here's a heavily protected pick from another team, not theirs. So it's like, because they have that stockpile of picks, and we're like, here you take on the I think it's 1 more year, and then I think it's a team option. So take on that Fournier contract, and then here's Cam Reddish as like a consolation prize, as like, hey, man, you get his restricted free agency rights, and then we give you an unprotected first round pick for KJ Martin and Eric Gordon. So
I still don't want Cam Reddish on the Rockets, but I would take 2 firsts.
We're not talking as a Rockets fan. We're talking as a Knicks fan. Would you take two picks that aren't yours because they have 8 first round picks through 2024 for KJ Martin and Eric Gordon? Would you trade Fournier and Reddish? Does that lift your ceiling?
I guess. I think it depends on what the market's looking like, because I'd rather have Tate if I'm looking to boost my ceiling.
If you want to do Tate, you'd have to do a 3-player deal of Quickly, Reddish, and Fournier to get the money to work. You would do that?
Yeah, if I get IQ.
I wouldn't give you a pick, though. Oh, like a first at least. I'd give you multiple seconds.
Yeah, I bet they'd probably be willing to talk multiple seconds.
I'm also biased because I'm like a huge IQ fan, so like I wouldn't want that.
Yeah, I mean, they don't, as they should. They shouldn't want to trade him, but they might have to. They probably will have to.
Who do you think? Ooh, my phone went off. But yeah, no, I think this will just be interesting to see how it all plays out. But as the season progresses, do you think this is going to be a team that potentially goes? If they make a move, Do you think there's any move to make them contenders this season, or are they playing long term that maybe in the offseason somebody's going to be going into the, like a Chris Middleton or somebody big that they could trade for? Do you think that's more realistic for them to do?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's why I think that's why they're still stockpiling young cats and draft assets.
Because
That's why they went for Mitch.
like honestly, Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, if like no offense to RJ Barrett, but I think RJ Barrett's a great trade chip. If you do manage to move on from Fournier's contract this season and a deal for Eric Gordon, which is expiring, you got yourself 3 guys in Brunson, Randall, and Robinson that if you use RJ Barrett, who will be making 23.8 next year, and you go out, and Chris Middleton's been kind of coy about what he's going to be doing next year as like, in terms of like, he's basically said, if I don't get paid max money, I'm not staying in Milwaukee. Like because I think in his mind, I won the championship at this point. I kind of want to get my bag and nothing go for it. So like, imagine Chris Middleton, Jalen Brunson, and Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, and Chris Middleton on the floor right there. Or even other there's other guys, I don't know about Zach LaVine, but Pascal Siakam, Zach LaVine.
Yeah, all these guys will be probably tough to acquire, but yeah, I agree. I think
they have the picks and the players.
I don't know if RJ. I haven't seen him. I'm only through a quarter of the season, so let's say he continues doing the way he's been doing this year. I haven't really seen him take a jump from last year, and in fact, I've only probably seen a slight regression. And if he throws up another dud in the playoffs, then I do think they'll have that conversation.
Did you just see, and there was just a tweet, it's funny that we're talking about the Knicks. Jake Al Fisher says the 4 players, Fournier, Reddish, Derrick Rose, and Quickly are all made widely available for the Knicks. And I think they can make a series of moves that I think they just need to get a bunch of expiring contracts and of players that they could either bring back, or with those expiring contracts, they can free up cap space to go out and get a big guy. Because right now they are a playoff team, but I think they are a guy away from being actual full-on contenders. And I think RJ Barrett's a great trade chip, and I think they've got their point guard of the future in Jalen Brunson. They've got a great guy in Julius Randle in the front court. I think it's just finding like a wing, and they've got a center in Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, we'll see. I think they'd actually be more inclined to trade Randall than RJ.